Veteran actress Swoosie Kurtz has made a name for herself on both stage and screen.
And now she's also the author of a new memoir, Part Swan, Part Goose.
And she joins us now on the couch today. Welcome. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's so good to be on the couch.
Yes.
So this new book that you wrote, it's not just your life, but it's really about your parents.
It is. I dedicated it to my parents who gave me the world.
Yeah.
I'm coming out to the world that I had an amazing childhood. I was not abused as a child.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, you're off the show then.
No. Like, who's interested in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was the most decorated Air Force pilot of World War II, and he was on 3 Olympic diving teams. And my mom wrote a book when she was pregnant with me, which is also being released at the same time my book, and re-released with an introduction by me. And it was just an amazing life because I was an only child. We moved constantly. I was thrown back onto them for company, so we kind of became 3 people together.
You know what, I gotta tell you, I have a daughter, and she's an only child. So you hear these stories, all this woe, but your story was so great. Tell us about your name and the connection to your dad.
Well, you can see on the cover of the book, my parents are holding 3- or 4-year-old me in front of the airplane, the B-17, the Swoosie, which I was named after because my dad flew it in the war. It was in the Smithsonian for years and years, and now it's being restored.
These pictures are just so fabulous. I mean, you were such an adorable little girl. These are so cute. Well, now let's talk about, the fact that taking care of your parents, it's not an easy thing, and you discuss that in the book.
It's such a roller coaster ride, something you don't see coming because, I've always needed them, and suddenly the tables turned and they needed me. My dad died in 1996, and I was not as compassionate then as I am now, but it in a way taught me something about dealing now with my mom's care, which I've been caring for her for the past 7 years, and she's now 98 and a half.
Wow.
And she
what a
lives with me,
blessing.
my choice, because we've always been joined at the heart.
Sure.
Oh boy.
She has always been my rock, my confidant, my best pal. And she's an amazing life force, very upbeat, very positive, very grateful. And she has wonderful caretakers now, but I'm there, 24/7.
Right, but culturally, I think, just Latinos typically take care of their parents until they're older, and Asians as well, my Asian friends. And so I couldn't imagine anyone else taking care of my mother or father.
Well, that's it. And like in Italy, people are obviously live with their parents, and their parents live with them. It's expected and understood. But I thought kind of for years I sort of hid the fact that I was so bonded with my parents because I thought, people think that's weird, that's kind of square.
So awesome.
And now I'm just like, you know what, I want the world to know through this book that I always have been and always will be madly in love with my parents.
Oh man.
I think it's a great exercise. Everybody should actually do that, not to have a book published, but if you take a few moments, is to sit down each day and just write something about your parents and collect these thoughts, because that's the strength. After they pass away, that's the go-to you have when things are tough.
That's
because they're probably the only people in the world, other than your children, that loved you unconditionally. It wasn't based on how good the relationship was going. It wasn't based on whether your career was going well. Your parents love you because you're you.
No matter what.
You can't duplicate that.
Well, I was thinking, too, as I was reading the book, what a treasure your mom is at 98 and a half years old, that she can recall things, from your childhood and everything that you've gone through. And I don't think a lot of people really recognize that or appreciate it.
Well, she has dementia now and almost complete short-term memory loss, but she still comes up with things that are amazing. And she's always been very instinctive, and her radar has always been great, especially about people. So she knows, she knows what I'm feeling, what I'm going through at any given moment.
One quick story. I just thumbed through the book, and I'm now going to read it. Now, I really am going to read it. But the one thing which really fascinated me, you were in Washington, D.C. for a little bit with your parents, and they needed a place to stay. So the Lyndon B. Johnson, who at that time was vice president, he gets you guys an apartment to live in? How did
my father? Amazing. My father was working at the Pentagon. I was about 4.
Yeah.
And because it was that time, just after the war and everything, there was no place to stay. The Air Force couldn't find them any place. We were living in a hotel at the time or something, and they met Lyndon Johnson at some cocktail party
Yeah.
and they were chatting. My mother, being
Hey, by
who
the
she
way.
is, tells everybody.
Hey,
my mother could always talk to people, and Lyndon goes, "Bird, these young folks need a place to stay."
That is unbelievable.
And within 24 hours, we were ensconced in their house, which they were not using, in this cul-de-sac, which was across the street from J. Edgar Hoover.
What, from J. Edgar?
So we felt very safe.
Yeah, very safe. And I know who your parents voted for in 1960.
Well, now, speaking of parents, you're a parent on a great hit show.
Oh, it's so great.
Mike and Molly, let's take a quick little look at a clip.
Is he going to be doing this all night?
Just ignore it and he'll get bored and fly away.
I didn't care when it got caught in my hair, but if he knocks over my wine, there's going to be a Black Hawk Down.
Now, you're not drinking wine this morning, but how much fun is this show?
It is so great. This group of people is so special, and somehow chemically just all the elements came together. We're all, as a group, very grateful. Grateful is our middle name, because we know that in show business it can all go away in a minute,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and everybody is there giving 150%, and of course our rock star Melissa McCarthy is so amazing.
Well,
and
it's
Billy
well written and
Cardell.
well acted. Yeah.
Totally. And she said people always ask her about you, and now she can just hand them the book and say, you know, you want to know how fabulous she is? Here, just read this.
Read this.
Exactly. So is she great to work with?
She is a very authentic soul, a brilliant physical comedian. She has not changed from the day I met her, even though this fabulous fame has come upon her.
Sure.
She deserves everything she's getting, and I love her with all my heart.
Well, I'll tell you what, this makes a great Mother's Day gift, and get the book, but also take her advice and look up on YouTube you and David Letterman singing with Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh.
One of the most awkward moments of television that you were part of. David Letterman singing and dancing.
With a little luck, you can make it.
It's great. Great.
That's
Great
awesome.
book, too. Thanks so much for your
Thank
visit.
you so
Thank you. And you're
much.
going to be signing at Barnes & Noble, isn't that right?
This evening.
Oh, perfect. So we'll
Great.
have people. Where's the location? Do you know? Or
It's,
which Barnes & Noble are we going to be
Upper East Side,
at?
East
Perfect.
86th, I believe.
86th Street.
We will put it up on WLNYTV.com/thecouch so you can go and grab the book. It really is a fantastic read, and you can meet Swoosie.
And watch this one. They moved the prompter. It says, you can catch Swoosie at her book signing tonight at
Oh, there
7
you
p.m.
go.
at Barnes & Noble on
There.
East 86th Street.
I was right.
Yes.
You were right.
Yeah, I'll give you
I
a
just
copy of this script.
disagreed.
Yeah. And you can catch new episodes of Mike and Molly every Monday at 9 p.m. on CBS. What a treat. Thanks for your visit.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you.
You guys are so
Thank
much
Very
fun.
nice meeting you.
So great to meet you.